Okay, so what's going on? I saw this on my Twitter and I just wanted to talk about it. Um, I haven't read the story. But I had it saved in my phone to read it. This was March the 27th, and it is June 28th. So when I seen it, this was about 2 weeks ago. So I've had it saved for about two weeks. So very interesting. I love first, first black. I really love that, especially for this day and age. This is something that should be memorable for our youth, but I know that the youth, in majority, the black youth in majority, do not care about things like this. But it's best that we talk about it, and that it just be out there in the atmosphere, in the web sphere, social media sphere, so that the youth come across it, and they have a point of view other than those Caucasians or even our own who write these articles. So getting right into it, Johns Hopkins just accepted its first black female neurosurgery resident. Okay, Nancy Abu-Bonsrah shares how she feels about being the first black female neurosurgery resident at Johns Hopkins and what she plans to do in the future. See here. Last week, Nancy Abu-Bonsrah got some really good news. She was accepted into the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine's neurosurgery residency program, the first black woman to do so in the 30-year history of the program. There was a rush of emotions, Nancy tells Teen Vogue, about her initial reaction to the news. She found out on match day when medical students nationwide learned if and where they match for post-grad residency programs, which they must complete before practicing medicine in the United States. A representative from Johns Hopkins tells Teen Vogue the school accepts 3 to 5 neurosurgery residents into its program each year. The first emotion was honestly amazement. 26-year-old Nancy, who also attended medical school at Johns Hopkins, added, I could not believe that right there. In that moment, I was going to be given this incredible opportunity to remain at Johns Hopkins to begin my neurosurgical training. Then came the joy and happiness. Nancy moved to the United States from Ghana when she was 15, and it was on a trip back to Ghana during college that she realized she wanted to pursue neurosurgery. I had an opportunity to go spend some time in one of the teaching hospitals, the Komfo Anoki teaching hospital. She says, it was there that I experienced the uniqueness of neurosurgery as well as the general lack of access to care. Not only was I impressed by the surgical skill and fascinated by the anatomy, but I was also stunned by how overwhelmed the surgeons were. That experience inspired her to go into a field that she believes will give her the opportunity to serve others in a meaningful way, and she hopes to return to Ghana someday to do so. I look at neurosurgery through the light of service, she says. Neurosurgical patients are a unique population who put a great deal of trust in their surgeons, and I see that to be a great privilege and honor. I cannot wait to go back to and serve, not only in Ghana, but in other low resource settings. She's also committed to serving in a different way. I am very interested in increasing the number of minorities in the field and would be working toward that goal throughout my career, she says. As for black female neurosurgeons, the first in the United States being Alexia Irene Kennedy in 1981, Nancy says, I do not know the exact numbers, but I know that they are too few. And I just want to add to those of you youth who just may so have happened to, click on this video. You can do anything you want to do, man. I know that that's cliche, but just look at, not just your black people here in America, but also your black people on the other continents. And I want to add this, that on Facebook I'm doing this Black British Act of Privilege, and I'm not doing it to shoot down our fellow black brothers and sisters, who they're just giving these roles to, but it's to show how we here in America, we blacks are viewed in the eyes of the Caucasian. By looking at these movies, they show us, we're not good enough. That's always the situation that is played in these movies. I have proven so far on the DC side of the entertainment industry that every black American male actor on these DC TV shows, either they are complete punk or they don't amount to the very interesting character. They're just that fill-in character, but stories like this about our sister Nancy, let her be an inspiration to not just black females, but black males as well. You could do whatever you want to do. Prove these Caucasians wrong. Yes, you might be the person who's in that tight situation. You wanted to be a thug, you wanted to be a gangster, but you don't know. You done got yourself caught up in some shit that you just can't get out of, and you feel like there's no way out. There's always a way out. School is one way out. Church is one way out. These are certain avenues that could guide you to the place where you want to be. I'm not 100% down with the church, because of my personal beliefs about the church. But if you feel led to go that route, go that route. If you feel like going to school route, go that route. Try to find you a job or something. You know what I'm saying? If you're not working, try to find you a job. Try to find you the best job that you can. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these places, they doing, online applications. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go in there, dressed, the way that with the only clothes that you have. You know what I'm saying? Find, male groups, that help support, not just black males, but, men who are doing bad. They have men homes here in Shreveport, that help men out. They have homes for women as well, but don't just be stuck where you are. You could go anywhere that you want to go, be anything that you want to be. Like I said, I know that sounds cliche, but it's the truth. Part of part of being successful, you have to pay dues. You have to bleed. You have to sweat. And some days you is going to cry. I promise you that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not where I want to be, but I'm where I'm supposed to be. And to get where I want to be, you know what I'm saying? To get where I am now, took a whole lot, man. It took a lot of sweat. It took a lot of tears. And it took a lot of blood. So, getting right back to it, this is the last paragraph and we're going to shut it down. In every field, it is always a little easier to see yourself in a role if those you look up to look like you and have your similar experiences, she adds. That's what that's not exactly what I said, but that's what I was getting at. You know what I'm saying? When I was saying, for this woman to be an inspiration to women, it just doesn't have to be that way. Men, boys, you can look up to this woman as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of us feel that we have to have only male influences. Marimba Ani is one of my most influential females, that I look up to. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you ever read the book Yurugu, which is Yurugu, Yurugu, whenever you read that book, you know what I'm saying, the mind of this woman is huge. I mean, even the ISIS Papers, Frances Cress Welsing, that's someone I look up to as well, and reading the ISIS Papers, you know what I'm saying, the mind of this woman, you know what I'm saying, and not just that, having both male influences and female influences that could help, in a way, balance your right and left spheres of your brain. You know what I'm saying? Understanding where this woman's mind is going. You could see how she does certain things in order for you to do them, not exactly the way that she did it, but put your own spin on it. You see what I'm saying? But, for me, this was the hardest part in my journey into neurosurgery, knowing there weren't not as many people who were like me. And I also want to add, a lot of people like to say that there is no such thing as race and get over race. And, all of us, we're just human beings and we're all part of one race, and that's the human race. That's not true. Race will always be an issue. Race is buried in the subconscious of all of us, every single last one of us, no matter how hard you try to shove it down. And many of those people, you know what I'm saying, like some black guy who said that, Black Lives Matter is, it sucks, or whatever he said is bullshit. You know what I'm saying? And many of those black people who say that Black Lives Matter is bullshit, these are black people who want to suppress that, to them, rhetoric, as though it is something that, should not be addressed or acknowledged or, spoken about. The thing is, all of these, people who say that there is only one race and that's the human race, mainly are white people. And white people created this rhetoric because they themselves have no culture. Everything in their culture, literally everything in their culture was stolen, borrowed, whatever you want to call it, from other cultures. They have nothing of their own. This is why they promote that rhetoric and they try to brainwash, simple-minded black people to accept this rhetoric as well, so that it can be easy for them to perpetrate culture appropriation. And this is where we see Richelieu Dennis with the Shea Moisture. This is where we see white people wearing dashikis. This is where we see white people using black hair products. This is where we see white people with dreadlocks. This is where we see white people trying to rap. This is where we see white people, in the movies imitating us like they are the Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? For those of you who aren't familiar with Jim Crow was actually a white man who put himself in black person's makeup and just, pretended to be black and joked about us. You know what I'm saying? This was way back in the 1800s. Research that, if you don't know anything about it. Finishing this up. But she says she received immense support and mentorship. Immense support and mentorship along the way from John Hopkins, and plans to pay it forward. Being part of the John Hopkins neurosurgery department is humbling, but I believe that I would be in a unique position to help in mentoring other students. Now, white people who are very sensitive about race conversation, race topics or whatever, she's not just talking about helping black people. She's gonna help white people as well. Now, me, I'm not one of those radical pro-blacks who just be like, kill the white man. You know what I'm saying? I don't too much care for interracial dating, but if you can stay in your lane and we stay in ours, everything will be good. But as far as just interracial, dating is concerned and cultural appropriation, those are the main two things that I really just have a problem with white people. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, stay in your lane, I stay in mine. But, you stay in yours, we stay in ours. But when it comes to, we still have to socialize. There's no way around that, black people aren't finna, rise up and just take over this country. That's not gonna happen. As I have seen, the coons, toms, and sellouts outnumber us by the hundreds of thousands. Look at Thomas Sotomayor's page. Look at some black guy's page, YouTube channel. Look at their channel. Some of them, they don't show how many subscribers that they have, but they have hundreds of thousands of coons, toms, and sellouts. Okay, so us rising up and taking over this nation, we have to get over that. The best thing, the best option that we have is just trying to get some, equal rights, equal justice, in the court system. And this is where we need our bright young black minds to, advance in, excel in. It's good for us to have doctors. It's good for us to have, all of these other careers, but we really need lawyers. We need people in the House of Representatives. We need a lot of black people in politics. You know what I'm saying? So, it's awesome what this woman has done. This should encourage us all. I'm sorry, but getting back to that socialization, it has to happen. You know what I'm saying? And for this black woman to achieve, the level of, intellect that she has achieved, to be able to teach the oppressor's children, is still a plus. You know what I'm saying? No matter if it's a black male or a black female, just as long as they're black and they're teaching, the oppressor's children. But at the same time, this is what I tell a lot of people who decide to go to college. If you're in high school right now watching this, I say wait at least a year or two. Find out what it is that you really want to do. Research it until you know more than the instructor. And what this consists of is studying from scholars and going to different schools who have the course that you are, that you want to take up, and talking to those instructors. So talking to instructors, interviewing them, and researching the things that scholars, those books that you will need for that course. Learn those things, so that you can excel in it, so that when you do go to school, you can be close to where the teacher is or right there where that teacher is. But me, my preference is knowing more than your instructor, so that you can pass through that class with ease, but, if you don't, you don't. If you do, you do, but, a round of applause for this, black woman who has achieved an outstanding feat, neurosurgery, and me, myself, I'm in the vicinity of neurosurgery. I just deal with neuroscience, and psychology, trying to understand the mind of the black male and the black female. So, I'm going to be, paying attention to her, if she's, making headlines again or whatever, and I'll try to get in touch with her, and try to do an interview myself with her, but it is what it is, man. Let me know what you guys think. Link is going to be in the description box if you want to read it for yourself. Leave a like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.